Immerse yourself in the vibrant streets of New York, where the cultural phenomenon of block parties was born. It was the late 1960s, a time of change and revolution, and in the bustling boroughs of the Big Apple, a new form of community celebration was taking root. Emerging amidst the energetic chaos of city life, block parties became the beating heart of New York's neighborhoods. Picture a typical block party in the early 1970s. Streets filled with laughter and chatter, the aroma of shared food wafting through the air, children playing hide-and-seek among the scattered fire hydrants, while adults danced to the infectious beats reverberating from vinyl records spun on portable turntables. But beyond the joy and revelry, block parties held a deeper significance. They were a lifeline, a means for communities to come together, to unite in times of strife and celebration alike. Amidst the concrete jungle, these social gatherings fostered a sense of unity, creating a shared identity among diverse groups of people. They transcended barriers of race, class, and culture, forging bonds that were as resilient as the city itself. And what's a party without music? Music was the lifeblood of these block parties, the essential element that kept the energy high and the spirits higher. From soulful jazz to groovy funk, the music genres varied, but the purpose remained the same: to bring people together, to make them feel connected, to make them dance. As the sun set and the city lights twinkled, the music would take a turn towards the heart-thumping beats of disco, the precursor to what we now know as hip-hop. The DJs, the unsung heroes of the block party, would spin records, scratch discs, and lay down beats that would echo through the city streets, setting the rhythm of the night. Thus began the rhythm of the streets, a rhythm that would evolve and inspire generations to come. As the 1970s rolled in, a new sound echoed through the streets of New York, the sound of rock music. This raw, electrifying genre took the city by storm, and with it, the block parties that were the heart and soul of New York's vibrant communities. The rock era was more than just a time of change in musical tastes. It was a time of social and cultural upheaval. Rock music, with its loud, rebellious anthems, became the soundtrack to a generation seeking change. It was a symbol of freedom, of breaking away from the norms and conventions that had defined previous generations. The city's youth, who were at the forefront of these block parties, found in rock music an echo of their own rebellious spirits and an outlet for their yearning for freedom. Block parties, already a staple of New York's social scene, became the perfect stage for this new genre. Rock music's raw energy and rebellious spirit found a ready audience in these gatherings. The music filled the air, reverberating off the city's concrete canyons, creating a soundscape that was as much a part of the city as its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets. And it wasn't just the music that changed. The vibe of these parties shifted as well. They became places of open expression, where the youth could voice their hopes, dreams, and frustrations. They became a platform for the city's budding musicians, who saw in rock music a chance to express themselves and connect with their fellow New Yorkers. But as influential as rock music was, its reign was not to last. As the 1980s approached, a new sound began to make its presence felt. A sound that was distinctly urban, distinctly New York. This was the sound of hip-hop, a genre that would come to define the city's music scene in the decades to follow. Rock music had set the stage, but another genre was waiting in the wings, ready to take over. As the rock era began to fade, a new sound emerged from the depths of New York's urban neighborhoods: hip-hop. The transition from rock to hip-hop wasn't just a shift in music, it was a reflection of a change in society. As the 70s rolled into the 80s, socio-political factors began to play a significant role in the music scene. Economic hardships, racial tension, and the struggle for identity in the concrete jungle of New York City were all catalysts for this transformation. Rock music, with its rebellious spirit and electric energy, had dominated the airwaves for years. But the urban youth, particularly in the boroughs of New York, were yearning for something different. Something that spoke to their unique experiences. And thus, hip-hop was born. A genre that was as raw and real as the city streets from which it originated. The transition wasn't abrupt but gradual. The rock anthems that once echoed through the city started to blend with the rhythmic beats and powerful lyrics of hip-hop. The music was no longer just about rebellion, it was about storytelling, about expressing the realities of urban life. It was a new language that the youth used to communicate their stories, their struggles, and their dreams. And nowhere was this more evident than in the block parties. As hip-hop started to take hold, these gatherings were transformed. The drum kits and electric guitars were replaced with turntables and microphones. DJs became the new rock stars, spinning records and creating beats that had people dancing in the streets. MCs, with their quick wit and rhythmic rhymes, captivated crowds, their words resonating with the realities of the listeners. The energy was different, more intense. Hip-hop brought a rawness to these parties that hadn't been there before. It was a sound that was distinctly urban, distinctly New York. It wasn't just music, it was a movement, a cultural revolution that was about to change the face of music forever. With the rise of hip-hop, block parties were about to experience a revolution. The 1980s and 1990s brought about an explosion of hip-hop culture, transforming block parties into platforms for this groundbreaking genre. As the sun set on the rock era, a new dawn was breaking. The era of hip-hop. The gritty concrete streets of New York pulsed with a fresh rhythm, a new energy that was infectious and invigorating. Block parties, once the domain of rock, now throbbed with the beats of hip-hop. The vibrant energy was palpable, the excitement electric. The DJs, the architects of this new sonic landscape, were not just playing music, they were creating it. With turntables as their canvas and vinyl records as their paint, they weaved intricate tapestries of sound, mixing and scratching to produce something entirely new. They were the maestros of the street, their beats the heartbeat of the block party. And then, there were the MCs. These lyrical wordsmiths commandeered the microphone, their words flowing over the DJ's beats like a river over rocks. They told stories of their lives, their struggles, their triumphs, stories that resonated with the people, stories that were the voice of the streets. The MCs were the poets of this new era, their rhymes the narrative of the block party. The energy of the block parties mirrored the raw, unfiltered spirit of hip-hop. The genre was more than just music. It was a culture, a movement. It was a voice for the voiceless, a platform for expression. The block parties were the stage, the DJs and MCs, the performers and the people, the audience. It was a symphony of sound, a ballet of beats, a theater of thoughts. The impact of hip-hop on block parties was transformative. It didn't just change the music, it changed the vibe, the energy, the essence. Block parties were no longer just gatherings, they were vibrant, dynamic showcases of culture and creativity, pulsating with the rhythm of hip-hop. Hip-hop had taken over, infusing block parties with a fresh beat and a new rhythm. The music has evolved, the streets have changed, but the legacy of block parties lives on. When we talk about the enduring legacy of block parties, we're not just talking about the infectious beats or the unforgettable dance-offs. We're talking about the profound impact these gatherings have had on music culture and the sense of community they foster. Block parties have long been a symbol of unity, where people from all walks of life come together to celebrate the universal language of music. They've served as an open stage, creating opportunities for aspiring artists to showcase their talents. From the rock era to the hip-hop era, countless musicians have found their voices and honed their craft amidst the vibrant energy of these neighborhood gatherings. But, perhaps more importantly, block parties have been a testament to the power of music in creating connections. They've broken down barriers, fostering understanding and appreciation of diverse cultures and music genres. They've brought people together, transforming strangers into friends and neighborhoods into communities. These parties have also been the catalyst for cultural evolution. As music evolved, so did the block parties. They've embraced change, keeping pace with the times while staying true to their roots. From the raw, rebellious spirit of rock to the thought-provoking narratives of hip-hop, block parties have been the platform for these transformations, reflecting the pulse of the city. And so, the legacy of block parties continues. They remain a vibrant part of New York's music scene, a testament to the city's enduring love for music and community. They continue to inspire, to connect, and to evolve, just as they have for decades. They've become more than just a party, they've become a tradition, a cultural phenomenon that continues to shape the music landscape. From the rock era to the hip-hop era, block parties have been the heartbeat of New York, pulsating with the rhythm of the city. They are a living testament to the power of music, and to the city's unending love for it. That, dear listeners, is the true legacy of block parties.